Hello, everybody. This is Tom Eckert here. You're listening to my podcast, Numerology, a GPS for the Soul. This is your place to learn about the true power of numerology and how to use it to bring out the best in yourself, understand your loved ones better, take wise decisions, and prepare for your future. In other words, how to live your life aligned with your true destiny. Take your time to educate yourself and share these podcasts with your friends and family so they too can enjoy the great benefits of numerology. Enjoy! Hello there and welcome to all my listeners. Today is exciting because we are about to talk about the upcoming year of 2025. And I'm going to give a global forecast. I call this episode an opening to unprecedented horizons, which to my feeling really represents what 2025 has in store for us. But before I say anything else, if you're new to my podcast, welcome. I'm so happy you're here. In this podcast, we discuss numerology as a path for inner transformation, spiritual growth, self-understanding, and maturation. I attempt to make numerology accessible, applicable, and grounded for everyday life matters, and I really do my best to provide you with in-depth information that you can apply in order to live a better, a more conscious, more balanced life that is also aligned with your soul and your true purpose using numerology. Now, here are a few ways you can dive deeper into numerology should you wish to do so. First and foremost, you can book a numerology reading with me. In a reading, you can ask any question that is burning in your life and get precise answered, tailored especially to you at this point in time. You can read more about my readings and contact me through the link in the episode description to book your reading with me. If you wish to study numerology on a deeper level, or even pursue it as a career, I invite you to check out my numerology study paths. First of all, check out my self-study numerology course. Soon there will be courses, more to be released very, very soon. The course I'm offering currently is about the fundamentals of numerology that you can study at your own pace, on your mobile device, on your tablet or laptop. Soon there will be a new course coming about number combinations, but that and more in my next episodes. Alternatively, and if you want to dive very deep, you can sign up to my complete path of certification all the way from beginner to numerology senior and get certified as a professional numerologist. To read more about both study paths, check out the links in the episode description. So I've been contemplating whether or not I'll be doing a global forecast for 2025. After all, what does one even talk about when it comes to global events? There are just so many things, so many facets and aspects to our human experience that one can talk about. Secondly, what's relevant to me might not be relevant to someone else around the globe. But I still chose to record this episode for all of you because I believe that the year 2025 marks a unique turning point in time, an unprecedented acceleration of sorts into a marvelous story that until now only seemed like science fiction, but will soon, most probably, become a reality. Being myself, I will not get into anything politics and so on. I don't have sufficient understanding in this field or any interest in this theme whatsoever, or at least too little to have the necessary knowledge to talk about it. Now, for the past few years, I've been sensing something profound, slowly emerging in human consciousness. It is subtle, but will have far-reaching consequences. I've started seeing that phenomenon, or what I've been just what I've just described, already around 2023. But now, as we are entering 2025, this process is speeding up and is becoming more palpable. The things I will talk about have mostly to do with groundbreaking advancements in science and technology, and perhaps also the way science understands the essence of reality, all of which will, in the near future, change our life altogether. It might very well be that in about 10 years from now, we will live in what once was believed to be science fiction, or even today is still believed to be science fiction. In 2025, to my humble understanding, is an important hallmark in this exhilarating process. So, to give some context, let's remember that 25 years ago, we have entered a new millennium. This transition marked a tectonic shift from the energy of number one into number two. This is amplified during this current decade due to the doubling of number two throughout all the 2020s. This tectonic shift happens gradually, but it's certainly or it is certain to bring about some fundamental changes in the way we prioritize our values and understand our existence as human beings. As part of this emergence into a new reality, more rooted in the subtle energies of number two, we will see some spiraling cycles of transformation. By spiraling, I mean that they are growing and expanding, and every time that it cycles, let's say, back to the same point, it's not really the same point, it's ever sort of like growing octaves of this spiral. And now, as we are moving into 2025, we are reaching a peak of such a cycle and the marking of a new spiral into an even stronger and more palpable transition into the promise of our future. We are entering global year number 9. Again, for those of you who are not familiar with the calculation, right? 2025, 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 5 equals 9. Now, number 9 is truly like no other number. It is a number of great transformations and of making the impossible possible. And this is indeed the theme of this episode and this new year. It's about leaving behind an entire paradigm of what we once believed was the limit of possibility and opening to a whole vast new horizon. Just not long ago, people thought that flying is impossible, perhaps even driven by hubris, something that God gave only to birds but not to human, that it is blasphemy to assume that we can fly. There are people alive today who never stepped on an airplane, and not because they couldn't or can't afford to, but because it still feels just too far out to them. We are now on the brink of another leap never seen before in human history. And 2025 and the 9 energy will mark an important point in the emerging of this exciting leap forward. Naturally, with every leap forward, some systems will have to crumble. Belief systems, societal systems, cultural systems, and so on. So some falling apart is just inevitable. But while it may throw us temporarily into instability, and, sort of treading in an unknown territory, it is eventually leading to a transformational and positive end. Now, what is so exciting about this specific period, or this specific 9, is that it is coupled and empowered by the frequency of master number 11 2. How did I get to that? Well, the 1st of January 2025, add all the numbers. 1 plus 1 plus 2 plus 0 plus 2 plus 5 equals 11. And 11 is always an 11 too. But for now, we'll focus on the 11 frequency of it. Okay, a master number. Now, these two numbers together, 9 and 11, make for a very high vibration of spiritual truth, higher wisdom, and the increasing of light and justice. They pull us all upwards on the spiral of growth, evolution, and increased maturity. Now, of course, this doesn't mean that suddenly all of humanity will become enlightened in 2025. This is just total nonsense and unrealistic. But in practical terms, this means that our evolution is speeding up this year, and we will see this in more and more groundbreaking scientific discoveries and cutting edge technologies that will change everything about how we perceived what's possible. A process will start within many of us of redefining truth. Truth not in an absolute sense, but in the way that we understand who we are, what's possible for us as human beings, things like lifespan and the implications of long lives, health completely redefined, and so on. It's as if cosmic intelligence is opening the gates for us now and allowing us to see more, and therefore tap into secrets of the universe that were only fantasy or theory until now. Just some examples are AI and its increasing ability to help solve health issues that for millennia were deemed uncurable. Again, right, this is still not there, but right, as I said, it's speeding up in that direction. Or to understand the map and map the brain like never before. Again, something that is already starting to emerge. And add to that, breakthroughs that are taking place with quantum computing. Again, still young, but certainly gaining significant momentum, which will keep increasing. That too will help us solve fundamental problems pertaining to energy and health in a speed and efficiency like never before. And these are, I'm just mentioning two topics, energy and health, but these two topics, once we really, right, find a proper solution for some fundamental things, will change our lives forever in ways that we can still not comprehend. Lastly, I believe, and I'm going to say something pretty, maybe for some of you, no, actually, you know what? I was about to say maybe for some of you it's going to sound a bit like too far out, but actually I think you, like my audience, will maybe, vibe with what I'm about to say. I mean, I believe that we are getting very close to the scientific realization that the universe is all made of consciousness. I've said it. This is part of the heightened frequency of the 9 and the 11 working together. They are simply taking us higher and higher into, let's say, increasing the light, the vibration of light. There are just, many, many more fields. But, as I said, like, I'm not a person that really, I just, the most important thing for me is to give you like the context, the energetic context of what's taking place right now from my perspective. Now, the next thing I want to talk about is how the arrows of Pythagoras are reflected globally for us as humanity this year and how that empowers everything I'm saying here. But before I keep talking any further, if you are enjoying this podcast and you want to keep learning more grounded, applicable, and high quality numerology and keep supporting my work, make sure to click the follow or subscribe button and turn on the notification bells on the platform you're listening from, and make sure to become part of my numerology community. That helps me a lot, and this way you can always stay updated. Also, make sure to check out the comment section and leave a comment on an episode you liked, share your thoughts, and even ask me questions. It's an opportunity to connect. As always, I attempt to answer all the questions and comments. So let's connect. Moving on. So, as I said, another reason I'm positive about our ability to reach a breakthrough this upcoming year of 2025 is that when looking at our global Pythagoras arrows, and if you're not familiar with the arrows of Pythagoras, definitely, dive into this topic. I highly recommend doing so. Then this year, we have a full plane of 159, the arrow of determination. Again, right? 1st of January 2025, we already have their 1s and 5, and it ends up being a year number 9, and we sort of add that to the arrows, and we have a full plane. This is one of the strongest planes pertaining to revolution and the ability to make something truly happen. I spoke about this plane in length in my episode about the 20th and 21st century in the light of the arrows of Pythagoras. So you can, go ahead and listen to that as well to give you some more context about this particular plane. Now, only that now, instead of showing up in the 20th century, it shows up in a 9-year with an 11 to master number supportive frequency, backed up by a powerful 2 energy from the 2020s that is even heightened by the 20 in the beginning, a 2 and a 0, right? The 0 always amplifies the spiritual energy and heightens the frequency. And so this is a completely different story. In 2025, I believe that we will not only hear about bold public statements about discoveries and potential new technologies and scientific breakthroughs, but that we will also see increasing attempts to make them a reality. We will see peaking activity on many frontiers. For example, biotechnology and possibly creating personalized medicine, the science of longevity and overcoming disease altogether, right? Breakthroughs pertaining to the brain, pertaining to age reversal, and so on. Space travel and the exploration of the deeper secrets of the universe, and also sustainable and clean energies. Now, please note, I am no scientist or physicist. I'm simply giving you my interpretation of how I understand and intuit the energies of 2025 based on my expertise in numerology and my own ability to tap into the spiritual energetic field of collective human consciousness. Now, when you break down the year 2025 and view it as a process, and I do that by splitting into 2-0, okay? That's a 20, because the 0 in and of itself, I don't really look at it alone in this context. It's more like 20 that moves through a 2, that moves through a 5, eventually leading to a 9. And the 9 is the year, but there's a sort of process. Now, to me, it becomes even more interesting this way, because last time we were in a 9-year, it was 2016. And so the end energy, or the energy leading sort of into the 9, was a 6, right? 2016, the 6 in the end there. And this to me is the most interesting part, because now it's moving through the 5. 2025. This strengthens my conviction that we are on the precipice of great changes and energetic rearrangements. Indeed, if you look at it from the perspective of 2, then 5, leading to a 9, you may see the 2-5 number combination creating some instability and unpredictability. Yes, I definitely won't deny that. I even said that a little earlier on, right? Systems crumbling, changing, some messiness. It's just needed. That's part of the process. And in fact, I will soon speak about some of the potential shadows and difficulties of 2025. Nevertheless, the 2-5 is a very creative energy, bringing further change and shifts to the millennial 2 energy, number 2 energy that we're all in. And all that leads eventually to the 9 and even creates it in a way. This means that this year's 9 will be even more about shifts and changes, dynamic changes. Many things will change and in a very fast pace. Again, this is very, very fitting for a 5 and a 9 in terms of pace and in terms of theme. And this lines up pretty well with the 9-11 heightened vibration of transformation we've spoken of earlier. So the 9 brings about the leaving behind of an old paradigm, strengthened by the 5 that pushes us to move ahead and venturing and expanding into the new. Again, 5-9 number combo. Again, by the way, just to remind you, soon, literally in just a few weeks, releasing a course about number combinations, the only one out there in the market. Stay tuned. Only that the new in this case is about the 9 and the 11 energies. So the 5 and the 9 that create a lot of change are showing us that this change is tied very closely to the 9 and 11 energies, namely the energies of deeper truths, revelations, and groundbreaking insights. So that's where we're sort of expected to see a lot of changes, a lot of exploration, a lot of expansion, right? A lot of dynamism in that sphere of 9 and 11-2 energies. Now, again, nothing is just, just a coin with one side. And as I promised, I'm going to say some things about the potential difficulties. Again, I think we are headed in the sort of from the bigger picture perspective, like the bird's view eye. Is that how you say it? Bird's eye view. So, right, from the bird's eye view, I really, really believe we're moving into a good direction. And we must not get too much into a tunnel vision, but actually see things from a zoom out perspective, from a bird's eye view. So, right, so far so good. I gave you some, input about what I believe and intuit to be the actual to my taste, the most important theme of 2025. But then again, what about potential challenges, right? So I promised you a few words, and so let's dive into that. Now, when I look at the frequencies of 2, 5, 9, 11, right? Or I look at them as number combinations, for example, 2, 5 and 9 and 11, 2, but also as a number group altogether, 2, 5, 9, 11, working as a unit, I also see an abrupt energy. I can't, ignore that. An abrupt energy, much potential, but also a lot of mess. So there's something a bit more incoherent, inconsistent, erratic, if you will. So I expect to see all kinds of erratic shifts and moves on many frontiers. Again, I'm not a political person, so forget about my analysis of that. Many people always want to hear what will happen, with politics here and there and wars and stuff. I don't know, but just take like the energy that I'm describing and let's see how it unfolds in terms of everything, right? Because when we're talking about global events, somebody who's very interested in politics and someone who's very interested in peace and war and stuff like that will talk about that. This is not my field of interest. I'm much more interested in changes of consciousness and human growth. So that's what I am focusing on and what I'm going to talk about and what I am talking about. right? So I want you to understand, the energies of the time rather than predict, what exactly certain politicians are about to do, because I also can't know. Now, um, I can imagine us living, at least for a while, in a sense of instability and much unknown. We have already experienced that in the last 1, 2 years. Some would say even longer, but I think it sort of it got amplified in the last 1 or 2 years. It might still increase or peak as befits a 9 frequency, and even more so, a 9 and 11 2 frequency working together. So definitely expect the unexpected. Expect the unpredictable. Furthermore, the 5-9 energy can be very scattered and lead some to make hasty, number 5, decisions that lead to big impacts, number 9. Some ideas and ideologies may become more extreme, with the 9 conjoining the 11 2, right? So lots of high energy that also goes to extremes. That's simply the way it goes. My in-depth neurology students know very well what happens when somebody deals with a lot of intense big energies like 9s and master numbers, in this case 11. People can really lose perspective, right? So that is also that's the other side of the coin, right? Of high energies. It can be too much of a buzz, too much to conduct sometimes. So we must remember that. We spoke also about the 159 plane of determination from the arrows of Pythagoras, and this plane may also amplify the haste and contribute to aggressive acts taken in many places across the globe. So we're seeing here a lot of intense energies, right? And this indeed may affect also the political arena. Again, I'm not negating that. I just, again, don't have enough knowledge. We can see maybe things like, forcing all kinds of policies or forcing ideas and ideals, or at least trying to, or fighting over these things, sort of, right? A lot of stuff on that frontier, because also 9 and 11 are a lot about like our ideals and what is just and what is true. And this is sort of like going to come out, and there's going to be probably a lot of discussion about that, some struggle around that. It may definitely aggravate in general a fear of fighting and conflict. So again, that's sort of like, I would say in a nutshell, like what I would deem, the more shadowy sides of this time. I still do believe that things are slowly and gradually moving in a positive direction, right? From a bigger picture perspective, I must say that even this temporary instability that I just described, to my understanding, will be leading us into the exhilarating changes I've mentioned earlier. Things simply need to crumble a bit more before they can be rebuilt. And in fact, it's just a natural process. You have some kind of old house that it's not, useful anymore, for living. Um, you destroy it and you rebuild something bigger, nicer, on stronger foundations. So tectonic shifts and changes need to occur before a new reality emerges. This instability is part of a bigger process. And I believe that the coming 3 years, so we're talking 2025, 2026, 2027, will be very interesting in terms of the unfoldment of what I referred to as the impossible made possible. I think this, just really remember this, mark my words, the impossible made possible. I think that this is going to become one of the biggest themes in the coming years. And it will really start gaining traction, momentum in 2025, even more than we've seen before. So, all in all, I'm optimistic. And I believe that 2025, despite all the potential instability, will bring many fascinating and groundbreaking new developments that will usher us into a new phase of our life as humanity on this planet and the universe. I'm truly excited to see how this unfolds. What about you? Feel free to let me know your feelings, your thoughts about what I said, about what you feel, what you intuit. Share this in the comments. By the way, if on the platform you're listening from, you don't have an option to comment, make sure to just pop by on YouTube or Spotify. You can comment there. Especially on YouTube, I think you can comment and you can comment on the comments. I'm not sure that's the same on Spotify. So just make sure to do that. Again, remember to subscribe when you're there. And before I wrap this up, again, if you enjoy this podcast and you want to keep learning more in-depth numerology and support my work, which I would highly appreciate, just make sure to click that follow or subscribe button, smash that notifications bell, on the platform you're listening from. Become part of my numerology community. That will help me a lot, and I will be super happy to just support more of you with this exquisite content. Also, remember to check out the numerology readings I mentioned earlier. A great way to get to know yourself and to experience numerology, uh, you know, in like on your own flesh. And last but not least, if you feel called to study numerology on a deeper level, check out my self-study numerology course or courses upcoming very soon, and or my in-depth numerology certification studies. That is if you want to really reach a deeper mastery in numerology. My friends, I hope this inspires you. I hope this is just opening a bright, beautiful new horizons for all of us for 2025. To date, I wish all of you a beautiful Merry Christmas and a happy new blessed year moving into 2025. As per the recording of this episode, for those of you listening in the future, or at any other time that is past today, I hope you really enjoy this. And as always, I'll just see you in the next episodes. I hope you enjoyed this podcast. If you did, and you want to go deeper into numerology, check out my website, tom-eckert.com. You can also book a numerology reading or even study numerology yourself through my courses. I'll see you in the next episode.